Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Friday night. It is a special time at 7 p.m. We do this every year. My name is Paul Spence from the 215 Boys. I'm blessed to have on the show once again a good friend of mine, Markus Thomas from HUD Radio, Pro Fan Talk. Markus, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, brother, man. It's time for that street fight, son.
Exactly. We do this twice a year, Markus, and I've been training all year. I'm ready to go. Off season's ready to go. And first and foremost, man, how's the family doing? How are we doing? First of all,
everybody's good, man. Wife's good. She just had her went to the doctor. I don't know if I told you that my wife is a kidney recipient, so gotta stay on top of that type of stuff. But her last trip to the docs, everything was all good, so we are moving, bro.
God is good, brother. God is good.
Absolutely, all the time.
Definitely. Prayers to her continued, recovery there, and always in my prayers, of course, Markus. First we're fans of the game, fans of family, first of God, and that's first and foremost, man. So my prayers go out to your wife.
Appreciate that, brother.
Plus continued, man, continued. But hey, now that we talked about the peaceful stuff, Aaron, let's get into what we came here for, Markus. Hey, you guys are sitting 7-1, man, looking pretty here. We're 5-2, knocking on the door. Markus, what do we see this Sunday, man? Let's jump right into this.
It's going to be a battle, man, and I was saying this early today. I jump into the Twitter Spaces now.
Okay.
And sometimes you gotta watch your footing in there because it can get real toxic real quick.
It definitely. So, I learned that the hard way myself.
Yeah, man, and you know me, man. I like to talk ball. I don't like to get into all of the other trolly stuff and like they do in the internets. But
yes,
what I realized is. The game plan for this game, and realistically, it's the same thing for Dallas too. The game plan of this game to beat the Cowboys, we got to control the line of scrimmage. We got to run the ball effectively, and not turn the ball over. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds simple, but yet hard to do in today's age of the games. I mean, the way you guys have been playing the ball, you got to run that ball. It's going to be a line of scrimmage game here, Markus. The game is going to be controlled, in the trenches here. Who can hold the ball? Line of scrimmage battle, field possession battle, and the turnovers have to be limited because even though we look at records here, Markus, I think these teams are very balanced right now, honestly. Offense versus offense. The only advantage I see that we have, basically, and on the paper-wise, is special teams. We've been playing pretty good on special teams. You guys have been lacking that special teams, but if it's a field possession game.
Not this year. I would agree with you last year, not this year, because I made a video where I said crash test Covey.
I did see that.
Yeah, because Covey is now a legit returner because the switch got flipped, right? Now he's not moving too fast. Now he doesn't look like a crash test dummy running to a wall. He is setting up his blocks. He's a little bit smarter to it.
A little patient.
So, right. And so I believe he was at one point in the top of the league with punt returns. So I'm saying all that to say the special teams issue has not been a problem this year like it was last year. Last year, it was definitely a detriment. And it showed in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, very true.
Our two biggest weaknesses, Gannon's ability to change and special teams killed us in the Super Bowl. It cost us 14 points, really.
Sure did. Big swing.
Yeah, so that hasn't been an issue this year, but now it's almost the same situation as last year because we're nitpicking. We're 7-1. I'm still pissed off that we lost against the Jets, but it is what it is.
We lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah, man. You're 7-1 or you're 5-2, and everybody's got something to say on what we should do. And it's like, yeah, I wish we would run the ball more. DeAndre Swift is clearly the best running back on our team.
True.
But we also scored 38 points. So how do you want to spin that? So, yes, we fumbled the ball twice inside the 5-yard line. So maybe we should have put a 50 burger on Washington. If we score those 2 touchdowns in the red zone on the goal line, that's a whole different ball game, and it doesn't play out the same. So, but it didn't. We didn't take care of that. We didn't take care of the game against the Jets. So you get what you get. You guys didn't take care of business on the Cardinals, and quite honestly, at that time, San Francisco was a better team. I wouldn't say that now, but at the end of the day, what you did a month ago doesn't matter this weekend.
Yeah.
All that matters is what you're gonna do on the field, and the recipe is the same. Can you win the line of scrimmage? On
Mm-hmm.
offense, it's our get off by our offensive line going to be better than your defensive line. That's what it matters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, we wrote the formula on how to deal with Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be able to execute that this year. I don't know, because everybody named Mama know Jalen Hurts has got a hurt knee now, so he can't scramble like he. Dude, I watched tape last year. I watched a couple highlights from last year just to compare it to this year. It is amazing.
Definitely difference, night and day.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Like I forget how fast Jalen is.
Yeah.
He wasn't like Michael Vick fast or Lamar fast, but he was fast, and he doesn't have that this year. The flip side of that is his quarterback percentage when he stays in the pocket is like 110 or something like that. So it's a give and take. So it is what it is, but it's gonna be a battle, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we talked about the line of scrimmage here, and I hate to say this, but Tyron Smith might be out this week. If he's questionable, he might be out. And then once again, Marcus, okay, you know what? You lose that left tackle, all universe Tyron Smith, and then you bring in Chuma Doga from the Jets last year. Now he's banged up too. He's questionable too. That left tackle, man, I'm telling you, it could be a feast war on that side over there on Hassan Reddick's side, Marcus. And I tell you, the only thing that they can actually do, if both are out, please, Lord, help me with this one. If they are both out, we had to move Tyler Smith to left tackle like we did last year for a couple games. Right. And then we bring in the rookie, TJ Bass, at that left guard position. Then that is the worst thing we can do, because this is the best front forward that I've seen in football in a long time. Depth-wise, rotation, they get at you. And they are licking their chops just waiting for that Sunday to say, okay, well, he's out. So you know what? It's pin your ears back and let's get to Dak, because you got to make Dak beat you. Because, Marcus, I want to hear your take on this. I keep it real on my Cowboys show. I take a lot of heat for this. Dak is not the quarterback for a West Coast offense where you get up to the line, you pre-read snaps, you pre-read assignments, you call the audibles. He is a one guy that looks down the receiver and he forces that ball to that receiver. He doesn't look at progression 2, 3, and especially that check down. Do you see the same thing I do? Because I don't think this offense is for him, honestly. Too many pre-snap adjustments for him.
Yes and no. Yes, he does that. But, I mean, look at it. He hasn't really been turning the ball over.
True.
The offense has not blown anybody out. Mm-hmm. You guys are getting a lot of help from your defensive turnovers. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to call Dak a game manager, if you want to call him efficient, you can call him whatever you want. He's running the offense. He's running it efficiently and effectively, and he's not turning the ball over, and you're winning games. You had the two hiccups. You had, whatever happened in Arizona just happened. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, San Francisco, y'all may have been a little bit outmatched at that time.
Right.
I always keep saying that at that time. But he's been playing relatively well. It's almost the same situation that we're in. Like what do you? Everybody expects.
Sure.
Or they want 400 yards a game. They want 350 and 2 tutties every time you step on the field, and it's just not going to go down like that. But that's why I'm so glad we got the mindset. Jalen Hurts steers the ship. Mm-hmm. So when he talks about keeping the main thing, that just basically means stay focused. Don't worry about the outside noise. We're going to handle what we can handle and keep it moving. Dallas, y'all don't have that luxury because y'all have so much outside noise.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've never seen, it is what it is, because as far as I know, it's always been like that. Been like that. Now you're in a situation of, you look at the Patriots. The Patriots are the same way. They're cooling down now, but when Tom Brady was having this run, folks was hating the Patriots.
Sure.
Because if you winning, folks they're gonna hate you. You're gonna grow up. When I was growing up, I was a Cowboys fan. Not really a Cowboys fan. I was a Tony Dorsett fan.
Right. You talked about that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Steelers were the enemy because the Steelers had won 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then you go to the 80s. Then it was the Niners. Everybody hated the Niners. I'm from Cincinnati. They beat me twice in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to the That was the 80s. Then you go to the 90s, and then Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Larry Allen. They took so they had their run. Now then the Patriots took over. Now it's kind of in flux, and it looks like Kansas City is going to be that team. So everybody gets a turn.
Sure. Well, Marcus, I'm still waiting on my turn, Marcus. It's been 27 damn years. It's been a long time for me. So I'm waiting on my turn to get an invitation to the party once, Marcus.
Well, I can empathize with you as a Eagles fan, because before we won it, we had that 1960 championship don't count. And what were you going to say? So it is what it is. Right. I think we talked about this before. I don't want to hear from Cowboys fans that never saw Troy Aikman play in person, or when you were 3 years old, you didn't know what you were watching. If you saw Troy play and you saw Emmett do what he did, and Larry Allen and that whole squad back in the day, you got a right to talk smack, because you were there for them 4 rings and all of that kind of stuff. If you going off of stuff you saw on Madden, I don't want to hear from you.
That's my biggest gripe, Marcus. We know each other personally, and I told you before, I'm 52, and the first time I ever seen a Cowboys game, not a game itself, was in '77 in Oxnard, California, where my dad took me, and I didn't know who Roger Staubach was. My dad was a former Marine, man, and I was just like, who is this guy? I wanted to go to Disneyland, in California. That's all we wanted to do. I wanted to do. But ever since then, I've been through the up and downs. I live with my team, die with my team, and I just hate that thing. Like, you'll never hear me say, well, Marcus, we got 5 Super Bowls, because you know what? What have you done for me lately? That's my philosophy.
Lately, man.
That's all I talk about. But, getting back to this game here, Marcus, I mean, how do you see this, with this, your offensive line versus this defense? I mean, I know you wrote the book on how to, continue Micah Parsons to get him acclimated out of the game here, but how are you going to attack this? Because that O-line is just ferocious and it's nasty. The Dallas D is pretty good. They're all healthy, minus Van Der Esch on the IR. But how do you see this here? Are you going to run right at Micah Parsons again and get him continually out of the game again?
Honestly, I don't think so, because unless Brian Johnson does a switch, because that's been at least my biggest gripe through the year. We're still having games, even with DeAndre Swift showing what he is capable of.
Right.
When we played Washington, we had 4 rushes in the first half. And it's like, why are we doing this again?
Right.
But that was what I was saying about nitpicking. You say that, and then Jalen Hurts and throwing for almost 400 yards, and AJ Brown is doing what he's doing.
Right.
So it's like, I'm aggravated, but I can't really say nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I use the analogy. It's like getting mad at your kids, but your kid gets straight A's in school.
Right.
What you gonna say? They get on your nerves, but he bringing straight A's home. So what you really gonna do?
That's true.
So if we run the ball, I still, and this is a personal bias of mine. I may have said this last year when we talked. I don't like running from gun formation. Running backs do not like to run east and west. Running backs like to run north and south.
Yes.
So, and that's the one thing I liked about Dallas when Zeke was still there. Zeke would kill us with play action all day. And we don't do that. The best thing we've done is we ran DeAndre Swift out of pistol. So he was still back. But my logic is, whenever you stick that ball out, left or right, it forces your linebackers to flow. And it makes the blocks easier for your offensive linemen. Or if it is a play action pass, it at least gives you a little bit of space in the middle of the field for your receiver or tight end to get open. So I wish we would do that more. I wish we would run DeAndre Swift to the outside. Everything we do is tackle to tackle. And it's like, this kid can go. Let him get on a corner and race somebody to the pylon of the first down marker. But they don't want to do that. I think it'll be a very important game to get Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith involved. I mean, Devontae Smith is going to be involved, but I think they're going to try to bracket or pull coverage to AJ Brown. They'd be silly not to. Depending on if they're doing a two shell or if they're doing a single high, that safety's got to help out.
Agree.
So we got to be able to make the right read, and Jalen's been good at doing that. But I'm still of the ilk that you got to control that line of scrimmage, and we should be able to run Even though that Jalen's not going to be doing the RPOs like last year, we got backs good enough to run by Micah Parsons. So
very true. Yeah.
We should be able to do that, man. And I think we got that linebacker. I'm sorry, not linebacker. We got that other tight end from Denver that we signed. They just call him the Big O. Okwebunu.
Okay, but yeah, Albert. Yeah, Albert, first name. Yeah.
AO. Yeah. So he, that kid is good, and I've heard he's not a great blocker, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see that first.
Exactly.
Because I know this kid is fast, is big, and can catch. And that's what we need, because if that type of dude, along with Dallas Goedert, are going to test those linebackers, we should be able to win those matchups. So it's all about the chess match, man. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely chess match. Exactly what you said there. Goddard, I think he's going to release off the ball, get that, get to the second level there, because we're going to have a rookie coming from safety. Marquise Bell's going to be on him. And he's shown glimpses of glamours, pulling up to that linebacker spot, Marcus, but he's a true safety. And it's a different, daylight, night and day playing safety versus linebacker, where you're covering, a linebacker in a zone coverage or man on man when you got that tight end. And that's what scares me the most. But exactly what you said about, the single high safety. I think they're going to play a two-man safety here, like an umbrella D in the back end there, because you've got to compensate for A.J. Brown. I think he's going to demand that safety over top. Either it might be Malik Hooker coming over the top there, but that's just going to leave a huge gap in the mid-level there, secondary level, for a Goddard or especially Devontae Smith, because number one, he can blow by you. He can run any kind of route, any route you want to run, he will run it, and he high points the ball so good. If it's a bad ball, this cat can still go up there, climb the ladder, and bring the ball down on any corner out there right now. That's my thing right there. We got to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. We know he's not going to run the ball like last year. We see that right now with the banged up knee. We know that, the bone bruise. So you got to keep in the pocket. But, man, just like you said, his QBR in the pocket's astounding this year, Marcus.
Yeah. And he made you could tell he worked on that staying in the pocket.
Yeah.
Because he's taking some shots, delivering deep balls, and he's been putting them on the money. So that's a good problem to have. I just don't want to – we just got to get through this game clean, no injuries, so we can get him to the bye week so he can rest up. So that's one of the most important things, man. And also, don't forget DeAndre Swift coming out the backfield, man. He can catch the ball. And if we win that matchup, if we can get him on the linebacker, we in good shape. I was talking today, man. It's like you guys got to remember, I don't care how good your linebacker is. If Micah Parsons on the line of scrimmage, or if he drops back in the 4-eye, or if they got him in the middle at linebacker, maybe they might have him over Kelsey doing the Myles Garrett crossover again. I don't know.
Right.
But he's fast enough to do that. However, if he has to cover, I don't care if he runs a 4-3. He is not a defensive back.
True.
You can run. Is the difference between running with somebody and covering somebody. You can run with somebody once the ball's in the air. But if you're trying to cover somebody and you don't know how to turn your hips and do all of that kind of stuff that DBs do, and you got a little guy on you, you're going to lose that. We should always win that matchup. So that's part of the chess match that I talk about, that sometimes it seems like the Eagles get a little lax with. I get frustrated when I see other teams, or I watch the other games over the weekend, and I'm like, damn, why can't we just do a quick pitch to our running back out to the right? You know what I mean? Why can't we drag our tight end across the line of scrimmage and have him float out in space after a good play action? Normal stuff. I'm like, this is tried and true staple offensive plays that everybody knows is coming, and they still can't stop it.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
We skip all of that stuff.
I agree. It's fundamentals that we see, that Monday morning quarterback. But what you see is what you believe in. But, as you said, a win is a win. They're finding ways to win, of course, Marcus, so we can't, disagree about that. 7-1 goes a long way. It's a bold statement to be 7-1. But what I want to ask you is, with Dallas here, now CeeDee Lamb, they've been putting him in a slot a lot. Michael Gallup is like a decoy, basically. He's not, living up to that contract coming off the injury. He's a burner. He can take the roof off anytime. He's still, to me, learning that coming off the injury, the progression, running that one. He's not there yet. After a year, should be there. But Brandon Cook showed a glimpse last week. He has a speed. He's a 1,000-yard receiver for the past 4 years, regardless of what QB he has down in Texas area down there. finally show a glimpse. When we put CeeDee Lamb, how do you defend that? I mean, who are you bringing up to this? Who are you bringing up, honestly?
That is the question mark here in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
That is the question mark because Washington pretty much cooked James Bradberry.
Yes.
So you were talking about Tyron Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Our equivalent is James Bradberry right now.
Mm-hmm.
He has been the liability, and Slay really hasn't been much better.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that we would have the confidence after that Miami game. We didn't shut Tyreek Hill down. We didn't do to him like what we did to Justin Jefferson, earlier that year last
mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
But we held Tyreek Hill to 88 yards,
mm-hmm.
and we held Miami to 216
mm-hmm.
as a team. So that was a win. So you would think that our defensive secondary would have some confidence after that performance. And then we go to Washington and Sam Howell just turns into Superman and just carves us a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, I already know Dallas is going to watch tape of the first half of the Rams game. Yes. They're going to watch tape of what happened in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be ready for that, and we gotta fix those leaks in the dam, man, because we got to play better. Now, what I've looked at is Bradberry in particular. We all know Bradberry isn't the fastest guy in the world,
mm-hmm.
but he's a veteran. He knows what he's supposed to do and where he's supposed to be. But both him and Slay, when they got beat against Washington, those were just straight up like technique issues. And I was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, I think to me it was like more of a hip issue with him. Not turning your hips, supporting you, playing the ball. Just like you said, linebacker coming to DB. We expect that out of him, but it's fundamental football. If you're not making that proper hip adjustment to play the ball here, one move can get you 5 yard space on a wide receiver.
Both times, I think the one touchdown that Bradberry got beat, he was about 6 or 7 yards off the ball,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't really start his back pedal until the receiver was almost on him. And I was like, hey, man, if you even, you leaving. You know the rules. And yes. Sam Howell put the ball in the perfect spot. And then on the other side, we got lucky. Slay got beat. And if it wasn't for Nakobe Dean putting the pressure on Sam Howell, that would have been an easy touchdown because Slay was beat by about 4 yards. But Slay did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Slay had his feet. He was solid on 2 feet, and for whatever reason didn't move. I mm-hmm. guess maybe he was anticipating an inside slant, a deep slant or something like that. But the dude just ran right by him, and then Slay was immediately trying to play catch up. I was like, that's a basic technique. Like, why are we doing this? Like, what are you expecting? So I don't know if that them having a mental lapse. Was it the coverage that was called? I don't know what was up with that, but I was like, that's a technique issue. That's not.
Yeah,
you just you might expect something that from a rookie, but not you guys that are supposed to be vets. And speaking of having a rookie, you guys got a rookie back there at safety. We got the same situation.
Yeah,
everybody here loves to talk about Sidney Brown, and I like Sidney Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Brown will come up and knock your head off, and then he'll get beat with a double move. So. You know what I'm saying? So
I tell you what, we got something in common. Our safety Donovan Wilson, who got paid last year, one of the great assets that we picked up. But he's the same way. He reminds me of that Roy Williams coming up to the box. Marcus making a hit on you, and then all of a sudden, hey, he makes a great glamour play there. When he's covered even a tight end out there, he makes that move and he gets burnt. It's like fundamental football here. You got to play both sides here. But Sean has a question for you. Bradberry tries too much and gets burned for it. Slay, to me, has lost a step when playing fast and shifty wideouts. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're still smart enough to play because again, we wasn't saying that against Miami,
right?
Like, so they didn't. It wasn't no drastic drop in performance in a week. There was something else going on there. I don't know if it was mental lapses. I don't know. But you don't have a performance like Miami against the number one offense in the league, and then you go to crap against Washington
the following week.
That doesn't make sense to me. So there was something that was missing there. Even Bayard said, Bayard shouldn't even play, but he did what he did. Clearly, he wasn't ready, and not when I say wasn't ready, not from the standpoint of physically, but mentally. I'm thinking he's guessing, and you already know, dude. If you on the field and you got to think, you already a step behind. So hopefully, it'll be better this week.
Mm-hmm. Now,
So
if they put CD in a slot, I mean, are you going to play a man up on top of him? What are you going to do? Is that safety going to come down and play that, that little shell with him? Is he going to play that way, like a zone defense on him? Like in
I don't
basketball,
know.
like a box and one. How do you defend CD Lamb? Because Marcus, when he's in a slot, he's
good.
He's nasty. He's elite in that slot.
He one of the best in the business, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas is they zone killers.
Yeah.
So, and we're not saying nothing that Brian Johnson doesn't already know.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what is he going to do about it? And that's the big, that's the question mark. We already know all year, 3rd and long, we're hot garbage. We're at the bottom of the league on defense for 3rd and long. So it seems like we're always playing off the ball and we leave the middle of the field wide open. And I'm like, they're going to carve us a new one if we do that. We got to find something different to do. So I am going to trust that they know that.
Mm-hmm.
They watch film. They watch more film than I do. So I'm going to trust that they know that and they make the right adjustments. Because not for nothing, we still holding teams, keeping them low enough to where we can win games and outscore them. And let's just assume that that's going to continue. But we got to come correct, and we can't let what happened last week happen again this week, or we're going to get torched.
Right. Now, that's the thing with the Dallas Cowboy offense here. Just like you said, they're zone breakers, okay? I coach a little league up here. I coach an 11-14 elite team, and I run and shoot, out of the pistol pretty much. And it's very terminology with me where I just, like, for instance, I'll say, like, let's run a 3-7-9. Get the spacing between every wide receiver, one short zone, one intermediate, and one deep route. Spread the field so they can't play, 9 in the box. They can't play this. Spread the field. That's what Dallas does to me so great. They try to take the roof off with a deep route, Cooks or Gallup. If they're the decoy, they're fine. Of course, you have CD in the slot. He controls right and left, posts, corners, drags, whatever he wants to do. And then you have the tight end coming underneath the route. That's what I think Dallas is going to do this week. But the only thing I'm worried about, Marcus, is an offensive line. That front four can get pressure. And if you give Dak time, he's not elite, but if you give him time, any quarterback can make the right read. Sam Howell can do it. We can do it.
Absolutely.
That's the thing I want to see. If they can get that offensive line, give him time to pick apart the secondary defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, I think that's where we go. But once again, we cannot abandon a run. I know Tony Pollard is going to have a hard day this week going against that front four, but you got it. You can't abandon this run because a running game sets up the Dallas Cowboy play action, and that's where they're dangerous.
Yeah. We're number 1 against the run. Here's let me see. We are, where is it at? We are number 1 against the run. Like, we're number 7 run offense. Dallas is number 18 run defense. Yeah. Dallas is the number 11, and we're number 1. So Dallas is 11th best run offense, and we are the number 1 run defense. So I tell you what, man. Somebody put this up today. You guys got Micah Parsons. We got Hassan Reddick because Hassan Reddick has woken up. And if he didn't have that cast on the first 4 weeks, he would probably have about 7 or 8 sacks. So he has been a force, and he has been getting a lot of tackles for losses this year.
Yeah,
he's been getting through and just breaking up that run game. So he's important because as a running back, if somebody comes through that line of scrimmage, immediately you have to adjust your route. Whatever path you were going, you got to make sure you get your hands on the ball, and then you see him coming. That's disruptive in itself because he might make you go away from where the hole is or where the blocking is. So he's been doing a phenomenal job, man.
Agreed.
And then we got what Jalen Carter's been doing. He's still a front runner for defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year, anyways. And Josh Sweat, Milt Williams, and what's the
Fletcher Cox?
Fletch.
Brandon.
I meant to say Fletch, but I'm thinking of
Brandon Graham?
The rookie?
Oh, the rookie.
The rookie. Yeah.
Oh goodness, what is his name? Goodness.
The Nigerian dude.
Oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank as well. Holy crap, what is his name?
Crap.
I know. I thought the same.
I believe it begins with an O.
Oh goodness, what the hell is his name? I'm actually drawing a blank as well.
I'm trying to look it up on ESPN.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know why I'm drawing a blank right now.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but Marcus, let me ask you this though: do you think Dallas? I mean, let's just assume that Tyron Smith, even at 80% Tyron Smith, that's better than a lot of left tackles in this league. We know that, but
Moro
going
or
against
Jomo?
okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But going against someone like the Eagles front four with Hassan Reddick coming off the edge there, because he's feasting that speed coming across a 80% all universe Tyron Smith. It's still I'm going to lead toward Hassan Reddick with that speed. The outside maneuver, even he stunts and twists, they're not going to be able to contain that right away. But do you think Dallas is going to be running a lot of chips on that opposite side there to slow down this the Philadelphia defense?
It would make sense.
It definitely would, right?
But the advantage that we have is you can flip flop Hassan, and then you still got to worry about Josh Sweat.
True.
So what I would think if what's the name? What's your tackle that's out?
Oh, Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith. If he doesn't start, and you got what is his name? Edoga?
Well, he's questionable as well. I mean, he's about 70% ready to go too. And if not, we have Hassan Richards coming in, who's had one start in the last 2 years at that left tackle spot.
Yeah, that's bad for business right there.
That's bad, right? I mean, that's
bad for business.
Starting out 7-0 already.
So one way or another, you're gonna have a backup dealing with either Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, or Fletcher Cox, or Milt Williams, depending on which side they want. So, and they might mess around and put Jalen Carter out there just to mess with you. So, we got to be able to take advantage of that. Now, having said that, we were supposed to have the advantage against Washington's offensive line, and it never materialized.
Yeah, and they were kind of banged up. They were plugging people in to play that position.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So again, the question is, how come you can do it now, but you couldn't do it then? Like what did Washington do that was so different than anybody else? You know what I mean? So I think I don't see Dallas setting up Dak with a 1-2-3 throw like Washington did.
I don't think so.
Washington got rid of the ball quick. So I think they're going to try to drop back 5 to 7 and do what they always do. Yeah. And I don't, you go with what got you there, right?
True.
But our defensive line is tops for a reason. And if you got a chink in the armor, I would expect Jeff Stoutland to target that left tackle spot.
And I'll tell you what, that's not the only mismatch that I see there, Marcus. I mean, Tyler Baez is, a third-year player, second-year starter, but
man, at center, yeah.
You're dealing with Jalen Carter, I mean, it's a ferocious animal there. I mean, I'll be scared to death playing center myself, Marcus. And even if, God forbid, if we do have Hassan Richards playing the left tackle there, Tyler Smith is holding his own, second-year rookie. He's playing great ball, left tackle, right, left guard, wherever you want to play him, he can play. Left guard is position player where he naturally plays. Arguably, great there, but you got to give help to Tyler Baez, and if you see his stunt, Tyler Baez is not going to be able to call that line adjustment, with this defense that fast, because you got to play assignment football, and when you got an extra man in the box there, that's pretty hard to do when you play a front four as fast and physical as the Eagles too.
Yeah, man, you better do something, because you do not want inexperience going up against Jalen Carter right now, because he is a grown man. Yeah, and he's making things happen. And then on top of that, I believe Jordan Davis is back.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with him because he's picked up his game this year. So we have a murderer's row on that defensive line right now.
It's deep. It's very deep too. That's the thing too. Yeah. I mean, I just hope Dallas plays the game. But the one thing that I don't see, which kind of hurts me as well, saying this, Pollard's going to have a hard uphill battle going against this front four. You guys are number one on defensive line containing the run here. Pollard just, he's shifty, he's fast, but it's all about that one block execution. You make that one man miss, that's where Pollard gets that jump cut, between gaps there. And that line cannot be, a bull rush. They cannot be manhandled right up front. He's not going to be able to get to that second level. The one thing you said with the Eagles, why don't we get Swift outside? I hope Dallas actually, old school tosses here. Get outside the hash marks and get Pollard with speed here. That's the way you got to slow this defense down. If Hassan Reddick wants to be a little bit too aggressive, hey, you know what? Let's run a little toss out outside, get Pollard in space. That's what we have to do. We have to show a lot of this stuff here, because the Eagles front four, to me, if they play assignment football, just playing straight up the field and keep Dak in the pocket, on a 1-2-3 count, it could be a long day, Marcus. It really can.
Yeah, and if you're gonna try to get outside, the best option would be to try to time that when Derek Barnett or Brandon Graham is in. And Brandon Graham is no slouch. He's just not
Yeah.
as fast as he used to be. So
Yeah.
again, it goes back to the chess match.
And that's the one thing being up here, Marcus, I do, I coach offense up here. I'm the head coach up here. And when I see an aggressive team, if they want to be a little bit too aggressive, I lick my chops on that. The first set of series, I'm learning the curve. I'm looking at the scheme here. Just like you said, you got to time that exactly right. What personnel do they have in here? If I see a personnel in there, okay, well, Reddick's in here, Sweat's in here, Carter's in, whoever you may have, they're aggressive. They're getting up the field fast, putting pressure. You know what? I might go to a 12 personnel, chip one time, and get a tight end screen out there in space a little bit. That's what we have to do. This is going to be the biggest chess match I've seen so far this year, because you're playing an elite team. I look at it as a measuring stick, but I can't say that because 5-2, it goes a long way. You're 5-2. Arguably could be, 6-1 right now with that hiccup in Arizona. Just like you guys could be 8-0 right now, of course. But this is a chess match here. But I want to ask you one question. Sean asked a question regarding to me here, but I want to get your take on this first. They fired Kellen Moore, of course, to give Mike McCarthy the play calling. How do you grade him, Mike McCarthy, so far with his verbiage, his scheme, and his West Coast offense? I'll let you go first, Marcus.
I mean, he's doing all right. Y'all 5-2. So again, it gets to nitpicking. We saying the same thing about Brian Johnson. So is it? I don't know. Is it more explosive? Is it? It's one of those things, man. There's a lot of people picking Dallas to beat us, and you're not going to beat the Eagles if you don't score points. So McCarthy must be doing something right. So Dak is not turning the ball over. Now you are getting a lot of help and good field position from your defense because y'all forcing turnovers like nobody's business. So I would say he's doing fine. Okay. The problem is it's just like any other team, just like us or anybody else, or what look at what they're going through in San Francisco. Right. The minute you lose, you gonna nitpick every little thing. And if every little thing is not the way you think it should be, well, he sucks. He's not doing a good job. Or I wish we had Kellen Moore. What do you think? How much stuff have you heard about Kansas City, this year?
With the enemy, yeah.
Exactly. But the minute you don't hear that when Mahomes is doing his magic, it's only when
you win it, there's a lot of crickets out there, right?
Exactly, man. So it's and at the end of the day, here's what people don't look at. Here's what fans don't look at. How many times did McCarthy or Brian Johnson or Bieniemy or whoever call the right play and it was a drop pass, it was a missed block, it was
execution.
Exactly. So execution trumps everything.
Sure does.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, 5-2 ain't nothing to laugh at. Y'all still in the hunt.
Right.
You know what I mean? If y'all come out on top this weekend, we tied in the division.
Right. The only thing holding us is the bye week that we had already.
Exactly.
It's the only thing.
Exactly.
Difference.
So you still in a good shape. So how good is he? He's doing a decent job myself. It ain't Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think 100%. Coming over there, McCarthy, to me, he's managing the game. He's putting Dak in the right position here. He's learning, the curve with his offense here. It's a West Coast offense. He's managing the ball. The turnovers are limited this year, and he's taking what the defense gives you. It's a 50-50 balance, play calling wise, running versus passing. I like what he's doing. But Marcus, you said one thing: you got to score against this Eagle team. The one thing that concerns me about this Dallas Cowboy team: 4 TDs in the red zone for the entire year, Marcus. We're playing under 25% in the red zone for TDs this year. You got to get 7, especially against the Philadelphia Eagles, Marcus. You can't get 3.
Bro, are you really talking to me about our red zone?
I'm trying to preach here.
if you talking about bottom of the barrel red zone, now we have been better the last 2-3 weeks, but some of our red zone play calling has been god awful.
And that's the only bugaboo I had about Mike McCarthy. From 2020, Marcus, we play great ball. Spread the field, take what they give you, great play calling. But once you get in that red zone, you see that little, 20 in the end zone, the play calling is suspicious to me. It really is.
I don't understand that. We in the same boat, man. It's like, what do you call? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like I said, the last couple of weeks for us has been better. minus the 2 fumbles on the goal line. We fumbled a brotherly shove, for goodness sake. So
yeah.
if we eliminate that, we'll be fine.
I agree. Marcus, I do have 2 questions. We're going to cut it, about another 5-10 minutes here total. I want to get your take on something. You played, we talked about this, and, if you guys haven't heard, Marcus Thomas, incredible college career. Marcus, tell me a little bit of something about there. And my question to you, we joke around with this. When the hell are you getting that invite to the real College Football Hall of Fame, brother?
Whenever I get the votes, man. I'd have been nominated like the last 8-9 years or whatever.
I know.
They send the thing out. I always forget about it. And then I have some of the guys I used to play with or alumni. They always hit me up on Facebook, like congratulations and stuff like that. So I always say, man, it's just nice to be included in that conversation.
True.
I know what I did in college. I'll tell anybody I could tote that rock back in the day. But stuff like that, that's just it's going to happen when God says it's supposed to happen.
I hear that, man. Leave it up to the man upstairs, man. You are blessed to play ball. You already showed what you can do. It's all up to the man upstairs and the voters out there. So, hey, time will come, Marcus. We know that. But, Marcus, where can everybody find you at, my man? I know you're all over the place doing everything under the sun, brother, but where can they find you at?
Man, you can find me on my personal YouTube channel that is called Pro Fan Talk. I'm usually putting out content every day. I just did a cool thing. Let me see if I can switch this for you if I do this right. I got on this whole Street Fighter thing. I'm a graphic designer, dude.
I've seen that. That was pretty dope. I like that thing they said.
Yeah, man. I was loving it. I was absolutely loving it. And so I started doing that, and it was fun. Let me see if I can do it. There we go.
There it is. Yes.
So I had that animated. But yeah, just doing fun stuff. So every day on my YouTube channel, Pro Fan Talk, I'm putting out daily content. Every Thursday night at 7 p.m., I'm on A2D Radio with my show, my weekly show. That's also called Pro Fan Talk. So you can call me. You can find me in both spots, man. Trying to get it done. Trying to build my channel. Trying to get into this thing. Next week I'm supposed to be at NFL Films.
Okay.
With the NFLPA. So I'm hoping I'll be able to shoot some content up there. That'd be really cool.
That's awesome, man. We're blessed to be loved for what we'll have to do, Marcus, number one, first and foremost, But
for sure.
Marcus, I want to ask you one thing really quick before we get out of here. How about we do a final prediction, and how about you give me one X factor this game where, out of Marcus Thomas here, I want you to tell me how the Philadelphia Eagles need to win this game. One X factor, what they need to do. We've already talked about some of the X and O's here, but give me one X factor of the game and give me your final score as well.
For the Eagles to win, we have to dominate the line of scrimmage, run the ball, not turn it over, and we have to shut down CeeDee Lamb like we shut down Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And as far as the score, I'm looking at something like 31-21.
Dallas, right?
Eagles.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to get you there, Marcus.
see, that's what you get for thinking. See?
I know, right? Assuming too much here, assuming here. That reverse psychology, I was hoping it would work, but I agree with you. This game is going to be battled in the trenches here. If you guys get pressure, it could be a long day for our offense, of course. Our defense has to contain your wide receivers. I mean, if you want to pick your poison, you want to put a shell on top of A.J. Brown. He could possibly go for 700-yard games this week, on Dallas D this week. So pick your poison. If you want to assume going to him, putting that safety on top of him, you're going to leave Devontae Smith running, up the field as well, Goddard as well. And you know what? Don't just assume, Swift coming out of the backfield, screen games. If you want to be too aggressive, you got to play a chess match game here. You got to play smart, fundamental football, hat on hat. So I got Dallas actually winning this game. I think it's going to be very close, Marcus. I'm actually going to go 33-29 Dallas this week.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully, I know it's going to be a good game because this is one of the games, Marcus, we circle on the schedule. You and I get together twice a year and we do this, so this is round one, of course, so I can't wait to do it again, Marcus, but hey, man, first and foremost, I wish you well in your family life, your professional life, broadcasting and everything like that. And once again, my prayers, hopefully continue success to your wife, as a kidney recipient.
Appreciate that, brother.
Definitely.
Same to you.
Last comment, Sean Kilrain. He's from the Sully Squad every Monday night on our network. He says 31-4-21, go Birds. Limit. We run the ball. Limited penalties. That's the one thing too. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of
don't leave it to the refs. Don't leave it to the refs.
Yeah, that's one thing. Marcus, I want to ask you something. How, in your professional opinion, you played in the trenches here. You played running back. I know you didn't do the Bush push, the brotherly love push, all that in your day. But Marcus, how do you stop this brotherly love? Because I don't think you can. It's fundamental football. It's the O-line and a quarterback that squats 600 pounds, Marcus.
Correct. That is it in a nutshell.
True.
Matter of fact, if you want to go back and look at the game in Dallas with the Eagles last year, and look at what happened when Gardner Minshew tried to run that play against Dallas.
Preach, Marcus. Thank you.
He's got Twiggs' legs,
Yes.
and he couldn't get a yard. You saw what happened to Brock Purdy when he tried to do it. He got concussion. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to have the right personnel to do it. And here's the funny part: even if they do ban it, what they're banning is your players actually pushing the quarterback. That's what's going to get banned.
Yeah.
Now, all you got to do is, instead of having a receiver, put another tight end back there to his left, and you crash right down on the end man on that line of scrimmage. All Jalen has to do is do the same exact thing, but slide one hole to the left. The same results are going to happen. To
me, I coach up here, and we tried doing it. And my quarterback is light. He's very tall and skinny. And I was like, look, it ain't you. It ain't how fast you are and what you do. It's about those 5 men up front, because you play man on man. Better man wins, low man wins, more stronger, sufficient wins. That's all it's about. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, they need to ban this. Well, look, don't get mad, because, don't hate the game, like, come on, it's very simple here. It's better.
Don't get mad, wins. Get better.
Exactly. Well, Marcus, man, I appreciate, once again, we'll do this, and don't be a stranger to the family here, brother. Anytime you want to hop on, let me know. My name is Paul Spencer, and that is Marcus Thomas for Pro Fan Talk from A2D Radio. So, guys, let's have a good week here. And, once again, give someone a hug out there, because, Marcus and I talk all the time, and, just like his wife, prayers, that's first and foremost, the family first, of course, football secondary, man upstairs guy, just do entire life. So my name is Paul Spencer. That's Marcus Thomas. We'll see you next week. I'll see you next week. And Marcus, I believe, week 14, we'll do this again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like that? All right.
Yes,
so, guys,
sir.
we're going to get out of here. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you once again. Take it easy.
Go Birds.
Go Cowboys. Thank you, Marcus.